Are you looking to establish a powerful online presence for your brand? Look no further than Live the Dream Media. Our team of experts possess the capabilities and skills necessary to make it happen. From creating compelling content to analyzing data and making strategic decisions, we've got it covered. Don't let a lack of social media know-how hold you back. Visit ltdmedia.net for more information.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Local Marana, and we have Mayor Ed Honea with us this morning. Good morning, Ed.
Just a pleasure to be here, Clint. Got a lot of things to talk about today.
A beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it?
It is always a beautiful day in Marana, but this is better than a lot.
Yeah, it really is. We've had a great. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff happening in Marana.
Absolutely. I thought maybe today we'd talk a little bit about growth and a little bit about new things that are coming and maybe some special events. I want to say, if you're talking about Marana and you're talking about growth, say in the business industry, you're not talking thousands of square feet or hundreds of thousands of square feet. You are talking about millions of square feet. And I'll go into a little detail on that for you.
We saw one this morning, didn't we? How big is that one?
That's 500,000 square feet. I'll start with that one.
Okay.
Then. If you get into North Marana, about Tangerine and the freeway, Flint Corporation is going to build two buildings. One is 500,000 square feet. One is 400,000 square feet. There's pretty much your million right there. What they do is they build these huge buildings, and then they lease them. Each building may have 10 or 12 different leaseholders in there. And it's small manufacturing, or maybe you run a painting business or a welding business or something of that nature, and you need to park a couple of trucks or equipment or put supplies in. You lease space in this huge building. And that's just two coming to North Marana. If you look on the other side of the street, you'll see CTI's new building, which is a couple 100,000 square feet. CTI is moving from Rito up into North Marana. That land that they were on was owned by Cal Portland. Cal Portland wants to expand, so they needed to move, and they chose Marana to move to. So there's another, couple hundred employees and 100,000 square feet.
And that's a better location to where they are currently at.
They're right there at the interchange.
You're right there. Yeah.
If you look at the two buildings next to that, that is Roush, the old Ventana Medical. Right. Roush has two 60,000 square foot buildings there and 200 employees. And those are 5-figure and some 6-figure employees in those buildings. So, see right there in North Marana, we're at 1.5 million square feet of things that are coming. The Amazon building on Ina, and people call and say, well, what's happening there? What's happening there? Well, what happened with Amazon? They're downsizing like a lot of the major corporations in the country. And they plan to open in about a year. They want to put new conveyors and new computerized equipment in there. They're going to hire about 200 employees. And that's a 250,000 square foot building. And they did a bunch of work on the Riverwalk. They put a piece of artwork in there. There's a beautiful, like an eagle fly artwork along the trail in there. I mean, if somebody loves that kind of artwork, like the deer we have on Tangerine or the horse and rider at the roundabout in North Marana, some really beautiful work there.
That facility's just right down the road. I was just by there a couple days ago.
Absolutely, and the road's been opened up completely.
It was
now
open
they've
all the
taken
way.
all the. But there's so many things coming to Marana. One of the big announcements that I've been wanting to make for 15 years is at the corner of Lon Adams and Tangerine Loop in North Marana. Fry's is coming in there, folks.
Yeah.
Kroger Corporation, who I think runs Rouse in California and Fry's here, and they're all over the country, is in the process of buying Albertsons Safeway. You know, Albertsons bought Safeway a couple of years ago, and they're looking at buying them now. Kroger wants to compete with Walmart. So they want major stores. This will make their 5th location, because they'll own the Safeway and the other 3 Fry's in Marana. They want to build a Fry's supermarket about 25,000 square feet larger than the one at Thornydale and Tangerine, which is a huge store in its own right.
Yeah.
We'll add 25,000 more to that.
Yeah.
And they want to compete. They want to sell clothing. They want to have garden products. They want to have, a pharmacy in their building, and they want to have, eye doctors and maybe a couple fast food places and stuff. But that 10-acre site will not only have Fry's. It's being built by the Barclay Group, who builds a lot of stuff that Fry's leases and stuff. It will have barbershops and beauty shops, workout centers. It will have the Subway sandwich place and the restaurants and all of those kind of support activities that you have in a major shopping center. This is not your old strip mall center. These are kind of like the Safeway Center if you look at it in Twin Peaks and how it has grown up with so many different support activities.
Right.
There's a new restaurant opening in there just probably in the next couple of weeks. And anyway, we're really excited about that.
That's 15 years in the making, and it's a reality. It'll be open next year, correct?
Well, they're going to start in June. It may take them a year to, they're going to build not just the Fry's, but they'll build for support activities to the Fry's and put all of that stuff. So it may be a year or a year and a half before it opens. But we're going to have the largest grocery store really in Pima County, I think, in North Marana.
Because that's got to be the biggest one up there on Tangerine.
That is huge.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Now, the Walmarts may be bigger.
I'm just talking about
even our Walmart
stores
on Cortero, but it's going to be a huge center. If you look at this in reality, you 500, 600, 700 jobs in there. A big Fry's may employ a couple hundred people. Somebody's got to stock and clean and cut and wait. And,
at least.
And then you add restaurants and workout centers and beauty and barber shops and all of that kind of stuff, dry cleaners and all. I love a dry cleaner. I have to drive, or have somebody drive me 10 miles to go to a dry cleaner. But we're going to get all of that stuff in North Marana.
Boy, in Gladden Farms, the people that live there are just stoked,
as
they should be.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
And just as a personal note, my deceased wife, who's about 15 years ago, and I was on the council then, yes, and every day when I came home, the first question she asked is, when is Fry's going to build a grocery store over here? So I don't have to drive to Cortero, or I don't have to do this, or I don't have to. Well, you know what, honey? They're coming.
Yeah. Now we know the answer. 2024, it'll be open at some point.
It will be open. Other things that are huge in Marana. We're building a community center / rec center / aquatic center that's going to be 50 or 60,000 square feet, 2-story. There will be 3 indoor basketball courts right next to each other. And people say, well, why? Well, we went and looked at the one in Goodyear. Our friends in Goodyear were very nice and gave us a tour and everything. We went and looked at the one in Maricopa as well, the city of Maricopa. They have 2 courts. Or Maricopa had 1. Goodyear did 2. And when we went to Goodyear, they said the one thing we would have changed, we'd have done 3.
Yeah.
Because people want safe indoor recreational opportunities. And the thing is, it's large enough with the 3 courts. If we want to have a town function and seat 500 or 600 people
easily,
and cater in a dinner or something for a special event or a special process going on, we've got the room to do it.
Yeah. And, we're underserviced. I do know that. In Pima County, we got a lot of open space. We got a lot of open space. But facilities, We are way lacking.
The thing we're looking at with this facility, and I'll go into a little more detail on it. It's really a rec center, aquatic center, but it can be used as a community center. Mm-hmm. We're going to have 2 Olympic-sized pools and a splash pad. The pools will have lanes so that our swim teams, so we have a couple in Marana, they try to use our one pool in Marana or the pool at the high school or whatever. There's just not adequate facilities for young people in swim competition. And I don't care if they're 6-year-olds or if they're kids in high school. Yeah. This facility is going to be open to them. And we're going to have lanes in there. It'll be like a regular Olympic-type pool for timing and for all that. It'll be open year-round because they'll be heated and covered and all that kind of stuff. We're going to make that facility available. Another thing that our pool is used a lot for is seniors. Seniors like to exercise in water. Most of them are ladies, but there are some senior guys too. One of the reasons being they don't want to fall.
Yeah.
Well, if a senior is exercising in a pool and they fall, they don't hurt themselves. Right. They're in the water.
Right.
3 feet, 4 feet deep, whatever it is. And we're going to have that open year-round. We're going to build restroom facilities with about 20 units in each one male and one female restroom facilities in the rec center that will serve the aquatic center and the rec center. So if we have a major event, we have restrooms. Right. If we have a major swim event, we have restrooms. If we have a major ball tournament, we have restrooms. The 3 courts are something that's really important. You could put a couple pickleball courts on a basketball court. Mm-hmm. You could literally have 2 pickleball courts. You could put an indoor tennis court on a basketball court. Mm-hmm. And you could have a basketball court. You could have pickleball, tennis, and basketball inside, heated and cooled, at the same time.
Right. And that's important here because for about 4 months in the summer, it's hot outside.
And another thing about that center, it's 2-story, is it has a walk track around the top story around the 3 basketball courts. That. And seniors, I think we've talked some about this in another event, but it's so important. A lot of seniors want to go somewhere in the morning and walk where they feel safe. They're out of extreme heat and cold. They have access to restrooms and water. And, I'm just really, really proud of that. Other parts of the community that are growing right now, we have 2 new hotels coming in. One next to Hampton at the mall there off of Twin Peaks, and one on Cortero and Joplin Lane when you first come off the freeway going east on Cortero. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That will make 14 in Marana.
How many beds now, ballpark?
Right now we're at about 1,250.
1,250, so we'll add.
But we'll add another 200. We'll be at 1,500 probably after this is. We have a lot of hotels. The Ritz has 260. The smallest one has like 30. But, we're going to have 14 hotels. Yeah. Many of them along the freeway. Many of them accessible when people come to town. They're having the Super Bowl next week. Our hotels are full and have been for 2 weeks. Right. You know why? Because everything in Phoenix is booked.
Yeah.
People that work, you have a team come in, 500 people come with them.
Right.
Staff, and you got to get food, and you got to get this, and you got to set up that, and you got to clean this and do whatever. It's about an hour and 45 minutes from North Marana to Glendale. Yeah.
Which is basically the north side of
right. Phoenix. But what happens is the camera crews, the other people, they get a place in Marana. They get up at 5 in the morning. They're up there by 7. They spend the whole day doing whatever with the team or with the crowd. And at 5 o'clock that night, they drive back to Marana. They eat in our restaurants. They stay in our hotels. They shop for our clothing. They do whatever. And even though it's 100 miles away, it fills up all of our hotels and
Isn't
motel
that crazy?
complexes.
I know someone real close to me that wanted to go to Phoenix next weekend or this coming weekend for something. They're like, I can't find a room in
there's
Phoenix.
no room.
I'm
in,
like,
in the entire
Super Bowl, come on.
fifth largest city in the United States in a huge area.
Right.
And to be honest with you, if you want to go to the other side of Phoenix, Apache Junction out there, Chandler, Gilbert,
Yeah.
it could take you almost as long to get to
Well, I think
Glendale
longer.
if you're going through the city than it can getting on the
Absolutely.
freeway
Absolutely.
to where virtually almost all of our hotels are within a couple miles of the freeway.
Several years ago, I worked out of Tempe for a while, and I commuted back and forth every day. You can hit the freeway, and you're there in
Right.
a little more than
Well,
an
I
hour.
can drive to the Capitol from my office in an hour and 30 minutes. And but an hour and 45 minutes. So all of our hotels are full.
Yeah.
The gym show was just here.
Yeah.
It fills up all of our hotels. Our hotels are doing, they want to run about 55 to 60% to make some money.
Right.
And a lot of them are running at 100% right now
Right.
with a waiting list.
Right. That is so cool.
So those kinds of things are doing well. We're getting new restaurants. We're getting a new Maverick, which is kind of like Quick Trip and Circle K over on Tangerine right off the freeway. They're clearing and working on
Saw
it
it this
right
morning.
now. That's another corporation. The first Maverick in Pima County. Where's it at?
Right
Moran.
there. Yeah.
And right there off the freeway. And I can tell you we're in the process of designing that right now. That intersection will be widened, kind of like Cortero, an extra 2 lanes outside the pillars. And we're going to start that 4-lane divided all-weather all the way up to Breakers Road probably in about 6 months. I'd say in a year and a half
You hear
it'll
that?
be done.
That's awesome. That is great news for anybody, and I do use that a lot. Matter of fact, I used it this morning. That's
for Oro Valley people that are trying to go to the freeway, either to go to Phoenix or even to different parts of Tucson. You'll come down Tangerine to the freeway or Tangerine to Twin Peaks to the freeway. One of those,
Used it this morning. That's needed to be corrected for a long time. So you're telling me we're going to start on that
in about
later
6
this
months.
summer,
Yeah.
and sometime next year we can anticipate that being completed.
Right.
That is awesome news.
So what I'm trying to say is we are exploding. Housing right now has slowed down as far as new lots. We're doing it maybe 25 a month on an average. We were doing 100 to 150 even on the big months and stuff. What the builders are doing right now is finishing lots that they already had permits for. I mean, there are literally thousands of homes being finished out right now in Marana. But folks, jobs and opportunities are also coming by the thousands. Millions of square feet of corporate space, whether it be for employment or whether it be retail base or whether it be whatever, is Marana is just exploding right now.
Yeah, it is.
And we're very grateful for what it brings.
Yeah. I was looking at the demographics recently, but we've grown as a community roughly 20,000 people in the last 5 years. And I mean, that's just went from 38 to nearly, now we're pushing in the high 50s.
Oh, no, we're probably
or
right
close
at
to 60.
We're about
in a
60.
5 year, less than a decade, we've increased by
Last
that many
year
people.
in April, we were at 56.5. That was in 21.
Right.
So at 22 in April, you figure, another 1,000, 1,200 homes and a big apartment complexes that are opening up. I really think we will be right at 60 when the next one comes out.
I'm sure we will.
And they're lagging almost a year behind.
Yeah.
So
I think the number I see right now is 58.
Right.
I think that's the number I've seen. And it was 38 in 2018 because I looked it up.
But we're the fastest growing community in southern Arizona. And people say, oh, no, that's horrible. What are you doing? People want to live here.
Mm-hmm.
And our young people, young families want to stay here. Marana has great schools. Pima Community College is fairly close. The University of Arizona is here. You have Lehman Academy. You have Bases. You have Lehman, Legacy. You have all of these schools. Sonoran Science Academy. A bunch of private schools as well. But there's opportunities from here. One of our biggest economic development directors is a guy named Craig McFarland. You know who Craig is? He's the mayor of Casa Grande, and he and I are friends.
Yeah, good guy.
And I said, Craig, we're going to have to put you on the payroll. And he's like, well, why? I said, well, your economic development for Marana, you're just a big boon.
Yeah.
Lucid Motors, which is on the south side of Casa Grande off of Montgomery Road and Interstate 8.
Yeah.
Is about 45 minutes to North Marana, because you go out Montgomery to Interstate 8 to Interstate 10, and you're in North Marana.
And that's an easy 45 minutes.
And
You're not sitting in traffic.
Moving.
You're just...
And people that are coming for these jobs, engineers, planners, technicians, they're used to driving that to go 5-10 miles in their cities they live in.
Exactly.
45 minutes from North Marana. They have about 1,000 employees now, and they're going up to 3,000 or 4,000.
Great.
Casa Grande does not have housing for them. They either have to go around Casa Grande and go north to Gilbert or Chandler, or they can come south to Marana. Well, if you can drive to Marana in 45 minutes without fighting that traffic going north, it's great. And if you go into a restaurant in northern Marana around Continental Ranch or around that area, you will see Lucid Motor shirts all over the place.
Yeah.
So what is happening is those people are coming in. They're getting either high 5-figure or 6-figure jobs. They're living in Marana. Their kids go to our school, which are growing. They shop in our stores, which generates sales tax to hire police and pave roads and fix parks and do all that kind of stuff. So a lot of those families are living in Marana and working in Casa Grande because we have the opportunity for them.
You know, I don't mean to be disparaging, but I was in Tucson over the weekend. The roads are deplorable. It's just unbelievable. I can't point you a bad road in Marana. I can't find one.
I don't think you'll find any in Marana, Oro Valley, or Sarita. But I of course, I want to brag about Marana. But you know, I love Tucson.
No
my
issues
mother
with
was
Tucson.
born there.
No
I was
issues.
born there. My kids
the
were
roads
born there,
stink.
and one of my grandkids were born there. But Tucson is really falling behind.
Yeah, their roads stink. Oracle is like unbelievable. And for anyone that's not familiar, that's a state highway, 77, and it was like, I mean, it might as well have been the 1900s the other day. I'm like, this is crazy. But I say that to brag on Marana and Oro
I don't
Valley.
want to throw. I love Tucson.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to throw.
But I'm
anybody
just saying,
under the bus.
apples and oranges as far as our approach to managing stuff. How about that?
Marana is the 16th largest city or town in Arizona. There's 91 incorporated cities and towns, so we're number 16. And next to Tucson, we're the second. We're bigger than Sierra Vista. I think we're now bigger than Casa Grande. We're running kind of neck and neck, right about the same size. But we're growing quickly, but I think we're growing carefully. We're making sure we have parks. We're making sure we fix our roads. We're just making sure we have enough police. We work closely with Northwest Fire. We work closely with the school district. School just got a bond passed. They're going to build a new K-8 in the Gladden Farms area in North Marana.
Well needed.
Absolutely needed. And some of the other areas, they're closing schools. Yeah. Young families are moving to Marana.
And I can prove that by demographics that I looked up the other day. The average age in Marana is 39.6 years old. Right. That is amazing to me that we have that young a community in Marana.
Well, young professionals are moving to Marana because of good roads, good parks, excellent policing. And I don't want to throw Tucson or anybody else under the bus. Their police officers are wonderful. There's not enough of them.
There's not enough.
It's not that they're not good people.
Right.
You come to Marana, we have a ton of good people. In fact, most of our new officers are actually transferring from Tucson.
Yeah.
We're hiring them in groups of 3 and 4 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody wants to be where the growth is.
So I like to brag about Marana. Are we perfect? No.
No.
Do we still want input from citizens in the community? Yes. We're trying to expand our parks. We're trying to expand amenities in the parks. We're trying to hire more police officers as fast and as quickly as we can to meet our parameters.
Right.
And I just think in the future, Marana is going to be the place to be, not only in Pima County, but southern Arizona.
I think so now. I think we're already there. I think we're the place to be. I really do. Hey, I want to touch on, we got a lot of stuff coming up in Marana right now. There's a lot of stuff on the schedule. We got stuff starting next week, running right on through the summer. Let's talk about a little bit of that.
Like
Ed.
special events?
Special events that's happening.
Things?
Yeah.
You know, Founders Day is, I think, in March.
March 26th, I believe.
And that's one of our 4 major events: Founders Day, the Harvest Festival, the Tree Lighting Holiday Festival, and 4th of July. Major events. And that will be a major, major, major event. State of the Town is
in early April.
April 6th. And we're going to have some really interesting people speaking there. It's going to be on transparency and being honest with the public.
Got professional golf back at
Professional golf
the
is
mountain?
coming to the gallery.
Or the gallery?
It's right there next to the
to it.
Ritz. And I can't remember, is it Live or
Yes.
organization? I think Saudis are putting
Right,
billions
right.
of dollars in it. They're having a tournament, and they came to southern Arizona, and they chose Marana.
And that's next week, I believe.
And I think that's
weekend.
next week. So that's coming. It's just there's just something happening every time you turn around.
People are really becoming aware of Marana, because when I moved to this part of the region of the state, now over 20 years ago.
It's the 18th. The Founders Day parade is the 18th.
Okay.
Just thought I'd come out.
Founders Day is, thank you, David.
It's the 18th.
18th of March is Founders Day.
So come out and watch the parade and have some good food with our vendors, and
Yeah, that's a good
you
time.
know,
That's a really good time.
It's a really good time. It's usually warming up
Yeah.
pretty
It
good.
was
by
warm
then.
last year. You remember that?
Yeah,
It was really warm.
You know, again, like building that new community center, 50 to 60,000 square feet. For Founders Day and the Holiday Festival Christmas tree lighting, that will be an asset to be used for that as well.
That last year was a really cool event. And I shouldn't say cool, because it was warm that day, late March, and it was warm. But a wonderful public community-based event. It was just a lot of fun.
We're starting to be people used to say Marana's a bedroom community. And we are.
And
I mean, we do
still
have
to
a
some degree.
lot of really nice communities that we're moving families into. And it's not just young people.
But we
We
have
have
a
a
lot of
couple
stuff going on here with all the
senior
growth.
communities as well. But there is a lot of stuff going on
Yeah.
here. And I'd like to take all the credit for the town of Marana, but I said, like, our friends at the school district, Marana School District, our friends at Northwest Fire, our friends with the Marana Food Bank, you know, just friends that work with us in the community. We all work together. And one thing that you'll see in Marana is it's not people fighting to get the credit.
Right,
It's fighting, people are fighting to do the project.
right. We both, when David come out, we both looked like we were in trouble, didn't we? like we were caught with our head in a cookie jar. I could see you're looking like, oh, my goodness. Hey, thank you, David, for getting us straight on that date.
So just great things happening.
I love it here, Ed. I'm going to say my line. I live in Marana. I sleep in Oro Valley. I love this community. I have been in this community now for 18 years, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. And again, this is where the credit is to the leadership and the people involved, the community at large. It's not by accident. What we're experiencing did not happen by accident. It was controlled. It was thoughtful. It was people working together.
You have to plan, but you plan from I don't want to say the bottom up because the people are really the top.
Right.
You plan from the people up.
That's exactly right. Well, we've done a great job.
And that's how we plan, from our people
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to go back and reiterate, I've not made one phone call to the town of Marana, anyone, either elected official or an employee, member of the staff, that I didn't get a phone call back.
Well, I'll guarantee you'll get one from me if you call me.
And you know
I don't
what?
care who you are.
I've made, you know me, I've made a lot of phone calls. They've had a lot of opportunities to, things happen. People sometimes, they get caught up, but you're 100% in returning of phone calls as a community, as a town. That's remarkable. That's pretty, I don't know that you could say that about anywhere else.
I think we just want to be a kind and accepting community. We've talked about it on different podcasts before. We don't really, except for Yo en Pueblo, which is the Pascua Yaqui tribal properties, we don't have ethnic neighborhoods.
Right. Isn't that cool?
I mean, you walk down the street in Marana and start knocking on doors. Every ethnicity, young, old, rich, poor, whatever, we all try to live together in harmony. Is it always perfect? No. But I think it's a pretty good place to live.
You know what, Ed? It's been chat. That we get that going in 20, 30 minutes just fly by for us, don't they? You've got a lot of rich history to share with us.
Talk about something you love and respect.
It is. I want to plug. We've got something coming up with Ed. We're going to start something new with Ed. February the 23rd. It's a Thursday. We're going to do a question and answer, and it's with Ed Honea. Come on out. There'll be a lot more information coming, but Ed will be setting and basically taking your questions.
No questions are off limit.
And what are you going to talk about the first time? One of the most important
water
things.
I'm going to talk about primarily and try to dispel some of the myths. We are not running out of water. We are not running out of water.
Say it again for those in the back.
We are not running out of water.
And he's going to discuss that. That's in the February discussion we're going to have. So make arrangements for the 23rd. There'll be a lot of information following this podcast. LocalMarana.com, all of our Facebook, website, Instagram, TikTok, we're there. And you're on all those platforms too, Ed. So if you see Ed talking about water or growth or something, and reach out, test this man out to make sure he maintains that 100%.
Well, I would say one thing: civic, social, religious organizations.
Yes,
I will come and speak. I'll speak at your church service. I have friends at all. I'm a Protestant, but I'm friends with Father Edson at the St. Christopher's Catholic. I'm friends with Rabbi Zimmerman with his Chabad house.
Ed, you're friends with everybody.
And, if it's a place of faith or a social organization and you want me to come and speak to your organization,
your school,
I will be happy to do that.
Yeah. It's a pleasure as always, Ed. Time goes too fast when we get together.
Great day.
Hey, guys, thanks so much for listening. See you next time.